Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Samuel, the 4th chapter. And so, as we left off in the 3rd chapter with the unfortunate murder of Abner by Joab, after hearing that Abner had visited David and David had allowed Abner to basically return in peace. And we ended off the chapter with the mourning at the funeral of Abner. So 2 Samuel chapter 4 verse 1. And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, his hands were feeble. This is Ishbosheth, that is. So he became afraid, he became weak. And all the Israelites were troubled. And Saul's son had 2 men that were captains of bands, meaning armies, under him. The name of one was Baana, and the name of Baana, and the name of the other Rechab, the sons of Rimmon, a Beerothite, of the children of Benjamin. For Beeroth also was reckoned to Benjamin, meaning that that land, Beeroth, basically became the territory of Benjamin. And also the Beerothites fled to Gataim and were sojourners there until this day. So because they fled out of their land, that land basically came under the territory of Benjamin. And Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son that was lame of his feet. He was 5 years old when the tidings came of Saul and Jonathan out of Jezreel, and his nurse took him up. So basically, Jonathan had a son who was young, and when the news came that Jonathan and Saul were dead, the nurse, right, the woman that was taking care of Jonathan's son, heard it, and she was afraid, thinking, "Oh shoot, like basically they might come and try to slay the house royal, to make sure there's nobody else that can sit on the throne." So as it says, when she took him up, and his nurse took him up and fled. And it came to pass as she made haste to flee, so in her haste to want to get him quick so they can run away, that he fell and became lame. So when he fell, he probably injured himself, maybe spinal, maybe his legs. More than likely, it's something that affects his legs. That's why he was lame. And his name was Mephibosheth. And the sons of Rimmon and the Beerothite, Rechab and Baana, so these were captains in the army of Ishbosheth, went and came about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who lay on a bed at noon. So they basically came to Ishbosheth's house while he was taking a nap, you could say. And they came thither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat. So they acted like they were coming trying to get some crops, to get access into the house. And when they got there, as it says, and they smote him under the 5th rib, and Rechab and Baana, his brother, escaped. So they basically went in there and assassinated Ishbosheth. For when they came into the house, he lay on his bed in his bedchamber, and they smote him, and slew him, and beheaded him, and took his head, and gat them away through the plain all night. Because now Abner was also dead, so, Ishbosheth was basically left defenseless. And they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Hebron, and said to the king, Behold, head of Ishbosheth the son of Saul, thine enemy, which sought thy life. And the Lord Yahweh hath avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and of his seed. So they basically came kind of like in the same spirit as that Amalekite that came to deliver news to David of Saul's death. And David answered Rechab and Baana his brother, the sons of Rimmon the Beerothite, and said unto them, As the Lord Yahweh liveth, who hath redeemed my soul out of all adversity, when one told me, saying, Behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings, I took hold of him and slew him in Ziklag, who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings. So he came there thinking by telling me that Saul was dead, I was gonna, be all happy and give him a reward. You know what I did to him? I killed him. I had him, he was gone. He was out of there. Now, how much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house, upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand, and take you away from the earth? And David commanded his men, or his young men, and they slew them, and cut off their hands and their feet, and hanged them up over the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Hebron. So basically, you can tell that David was upset, right? Because interestingly enough, those around seem to have misunderstood, right? And to a degree, when you have rivalry, the average people's minds is, well, if he was basically against you and it was him against you, then you hate him and he hates you. And on that assumption, a lot of them ran thinking, well, like these men, well, if I slay the enemy of David, he's going to be happy and he's going to, accept us probably into his army and, give us a good position and so on. But what they failed to realize was, the heart that David had, which was, as you can see here, he actually didn't hate Saul, right? He didn't have a genuine like hate towards Saul. And that's why as you can see, even from the book of First Kings up until now, based on how David moved, you can see that he didn't have that evil or that evil eye, you could say, towards Saul as other people would have. And based on that assumption, they moved in certain ways, which also highlights why it is that the Lord chose David. But here we are at the end of 2 Samuel, the 4th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.